Hi guys, welcome to a special edition of What I Ate Wednesday, where I don't show you what I ate on Tuesday, instead I show you what I ate this past Sunday. I stumbled into the kitchen Sunday morning and was hankering for a breakfast sandwich, so I pulled out some tofu, portobello mushroom, tomato, and got some coconut milk ready in a bowl. In a dish, I'm making the coating for the tofu. Flour mixed the base along with a half tablespoon of nutritional yeast. You can use any seasonings you like. I'm using onion powder, garlic powder, white pepper, some poultry seasoning, cayenne, and black salt. Black salt has a sulfurate taste to it, which adds an eggy flavor. Just a pinch will do, as a little is nice, but too much is gross. Then I just mix it around a bit and it's time to dip the tofu. This tofu is already pressed and quite dry, so I'm using coconut milk to make it wet so the flour mixture will stick. You can use any type of plant milk, vegetable broth, or even just water. Press the tofu into the dry mix on one side, then the other, and then repeat with the other pieces. Once I have all the pieces coated, I can just set them aside. Over a high heat, I have this non-stick pan and I've sprinkled a bit of salt. Then I add the sliced mushroom. Fresh crushed garlic comes next, and some water. The water will evaporate pretty quickly and the heat and steam will soften the mushrooms just enough. Now I'll transfer the mushrooms to a bowl, rinse out the pan, and we're back on the stove again. This time I'm adding a teaspoon of oil to the pan so we can fry up the tofu. The pan is still hot, so the tofu can go in rather quickly. When you place the tofu in, it should start to sizzle up right away. Just cook it until the bottom is golden, about a minute or less, then flip it and cook it for a minute more. Then I transfer those to the bowl with the mushroom and add my English muffins to the pan. No need to clean, the leftover oil will give the bread a nice crisp. I've turned off the heat and my English muffins are warm and toasty. Time to pile up. First some ranch sauce made from silken tofu, then the fried crispy tofu, some sriracha, the juicy garlicky portobello mushroom slices, more sriracha, tomato slices, and some homemade barbecue sauce. All the sauces kind of act like a glue to hold the sandwich together, otherwise the mushroom and tomato like to slide out on their own. Can't have that. And that was breakfast. So freaking good. You guys may not know this about me, but I live for breakfast sandwiches. How about you? Thumbs up if you love breakfast sandwiches too. Whenever I have something heavy like this, I like to follow it up with green tea. My mom always told me to do this as it's apparently good for digestion, and I believe her. A tablespoon of Chinese green tea goes in the pot, and I'll be drinking this all day, only refilling with hot water as the tea leaves are good for several changes and I really don't need the extra caffeine. Weekends are usually the time when I do the most recipe testing. This batter is for my third go at a particular banana bread recipe that excludes certain ingredients, just to see if it will make a difference. It came out delicious, but it's not quite perfect yet. For lunch, I fried up some onions and garlic, along with some beet seitan. The beet gives the seitan a deep red color that honestly is kind of freaky when you look at it, but it's really good when it's fried up and browned. Now I've switched the heat from high to low and added some homemade barbecue sauce. This is a sweet and spicy barbecue sauce without the vinegariness that most Western kinds have. This is more a Chinese-style barbecue sauce. Stir a bit and it's done. I transferred that to a bowl, rinsed the pan quickly while it's still hot, and back on the stove it goes. Now it's time to make spicy peanut sauce. Where I usually make it in a blender, today I wanted everything hot, so everything went into a warm pan. Then in go some cooked chow mein noodles. And now we have noodle salad. I call anything that has lettuce a salad. Totally counts, right? For dinner, I had more gorgeous portobello mushroom to use up. I started it similar to how I started breakfast, but instead of adding water to the pan, I added 3 cups of kale that I had destemmed and softened by massaging with some salt. Once everything was tender, I added cashew Alfredo sauce. You can find the recipe for this Alfredo sauce in Colleen Patrick Goudreau's 30-Day Vegan Challenge book. By the way, if you're waiting for the review that I had talked about in the beginning of the year, well, it's still coming, I promise. For my boyfriend's dinner, I served this over brown rice millet noodles that I had gotten in a Vegan Cuts box a few months ago, and for myself, some steamed sweet potatoes. And that was my super delicious, indulgent, and stuffed to the brim food Sunday. How was your food weekend? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I post new, easy vegan recipes on Fridays, meal inspiration ideas on Wednesdays, and I'm getting back to vegan cookbook reviews on Mondays. Bye for now!